In this next one, we're going to talk about calories, we're going to talk about weight loss, we're going to talk about weight gain, how to create your ideal diet for your goal. So first off, weight loss, creating a calorie or energy deficit. See, all calories is energy. So there's just a unit to measure energy. So if you have more energy going into your body than coming out, you're going to gain weight and vice versa. So in order to create a calorie or energy deficit, you need to consume less calories than you burn. So there's a few techniques you can use to do this without counting your calories. Eating more slowly and mindfully. So when you take your time, you can actually set a timer for how long it takes you to eat. When you take your time to eat food, your body will register that, hey, I'm actually getting full, and your body will be able to say, hey, stop eating now. Versus if you in a speed race to eat food, you can't stop and you'll just overeat. And then the next point is it will help you notice your physical and your hunger cues. So your body will say, hey, I'm full, or hey, I'm hungry when you're eating like this. Eat to 80% full or just satisfied. So over time, you can notice, dang, I ate this amount of food, I need to eat a little bit less next time so I'm not as stuffed. So if you eat to 8 out of 10 fullness level, then at most meals, then you're going to lose weight. Because your body is telling you, hey, this is our limit. If you eat over this limit, then we're going to store this food. We don't know what to do with this extra food, this extra energy. I'm going to go over some measurement suggestions that you can use to calculate if you're in a deficit or not without weighing your food. Recording your food intake. Another great thing is to journal your food. I'll have a slide on this about either doing a paper journal or using an app to journal your food. And then eating more whole, less processed foods. So like I said before, if your diet is just McDonald's or fast food or junk food, it's very easy to overeat. Like a little packet of Skittles candy will be 200 calories. For that same 200 calories, you can eat a whole 8-ounce, maybe more, I gotta check the numbers, chicken breast. What are you gonna be more full with? The bag of Skittles or the chicken breast? So you can eat 3, 4, 5 of those bags of Skittles, but that chicken breast, you eat 3, 4, 5 of those chicken breasts, you'll be super stuffed. So by eating more whole foods, you automatically force your body to not overeat. Eating lean protein at most meals, so like my chicken example, lean steak, lean cuts of different birds like turkey or lean fish, and drink mostly non-caloric beverages. So Gatorade Zero, if you like soda, Coke Zero, these 0-calorie beverages will help you to not go over your deficit. Drinking a can of soda or a sweet lemonade will easily add 200, 300 calories to your diet, and that could be the difference of you going over your calories for the day. And then practice good sleeping habits. If you practice good sleeping habits, your body will be more in line in telling you, hey, we're overeating or we're undereating. So in order for weight gain, do the opposite, right? You need to intake more energy than you put out. So if your goal is to put on muscle or just to put on more size, these are what you need to do. You need to eat to 120% full. So your body has a limit. It tells you, okay, we're gonna eat to this fullness level. If you pass that limit, then your body will start storing that food as either fat or muscle, depending on your activity level. So you're gonna be a little uncomfortably full, but you're basically eating at a 12 out of 10 at each meal. Eat super quick. If you're trying to put on weight, eat super quick so your body doesn't have time to tell you, hey, stop, we're eating too much. And then drinking your calories is a great way. So you can make smoothies or different juices in order to drink your calories. It's easier to get more calories in by doing something like this. And then if muscle mass is your goal, you need to work out at least 4 days out of the week with overeating like this in a calorie surplus in order to put on extra muscle. So the one catalyst for all of this, why I can't tell you exactly, okay, you need to eat 1,200 calories or you need to eat 2,000 calories or this or that, is your metabolism. So metabolism is just the process that your body uses to convert food and drinks into energy. So if you have a good metabolism, it converts food quickly, right? So think of a teenager. They can eat a ton and ton and ton, but they won't put on any weight. The metabolism is acting super fast because they're active and they're young. So they can eat a ton of food and they won't put on any weight. But your metabolism can change over time. I'll share a little bit about that. And then you can have a bad metabolism where you digest food really slowly and it's not converted to energy as efficiently so that your body stores that food. And metabolism, all it is a survival mechanism. So, you know, back 1,000 years ago, hundreds of years ago, we didn't have access to McDonald's, fast food, food at Uber Eats at the snap of our fingers, right? So it was harder to get food. So in order for our body to not starve, our metabolism would slow down. And so our metabolism would allow us to store food in the form of body fat so that we wouldn't starve to death. So whenever it needed the extra energy, it could take from our fat stores. But nowadays it's so easy to overeat, so our metabolism is all out of sync. In a little bit, I'll share about reverse dieting so that you can boost up your metabolism in order to get to that level where it's burning like a teenager, and so that you can eat more and more food with the same activity level, but you'll begin to lose weight. And like I said, you can adjust it over time. So in order to increase your metabolism, you can do what's called a reverse diet. And a reverse diet is basically eating more and more and more food until you get to a point where you start putting on body fat. Once you get to that point, you realize, hey, this is the limit where my body can no longer convert the energy and start storing it as fat. So once you get to that point, you're going to eat at that point for a little bit. And as you continue to eat at that point, eat at that point, eat at that point, let's say it's 2,400 calories. As you continue to eat at 2,400 calories for a month, maybe 2 months, your body will adjust. And your body will say, hey, this is our new limit. Metabolism will adjust. Okay, now our body knows, okay, we're getting this 2,400 calories in every single day. Now we can start to use that as energy. We no longer have to store it. We can use it as energy. And so now at 2,400 calories, you start to lose weight. And then from the 2,400 calories, you reduce your calories to 2,300. Now you begin to lose weight even more rapidly because your body's used to getting 2,400 calories. So that's kind of how a reverse diet works. So measurements. When it comes to being in calorie surplus, calorie deficit, measuring will get it done. And measuring is more of a level 2 skill. So if you're not to that point, that's okay. You can build up to that point. But what gets measured gets managed. And if you can manage something, you can improve upon it. So some food measurements you can do. You can use a scale. You can use different hand measurements, which I'll show you in a little bit. You can eyeball it. This is kind of advanced. You kind of have to either weigh food out, use your hand for a while until you can eyeball, because it's super easy to overestimate how much you're actually scooping out of that peanut butter jar, or how many scoops of rice you actually ate. You can also use a special plate. So if you eat from the same plate every single day, you can adjust, say, okay, I'm eating this amount of food every single day, I'm not losing weight, so I'm gonna eat a little bit less. And you can continue that process until you lose weight. Body measurements, so a weight scale. Weight scale is great. You don't have to be advanced to use a weight scale, but all it is just showing you how your weight is changing over time. And typically for weight loss, I like my clients to go at 1% body loss per week, body fat loss per week. So if you're 200 pounds, you should be losing about 2 pounds per week on average. It will go up and down. Some weeks will be 3, some weeks will be 1, some weeks will be 0, then the next week will be 4. It will go up and down. But on average, over a month, 2 month span, okay, 2 months, 8 weeks have passed, so you should have lost 16 pounds if you're on point, right? So other body measurements, you can take pictures because the scale doesn't tell the whole story. You could be adding muscle, you could be holding water. A lot of things can happen, but the picture will tell most of the story and say like, oh, you're adding muscle in your chest or you're adding muscle in your thighs, and you can compare it over time. Scale might not be changing, but those pictures will. You can use tape measure and then also how your clothes fit. You can tell, oh, now I fit in a XL shirt, whereas 3 months ago I was wearing 2X. And that's an easy way to see if you're progressing or not. So measurements can mentally help you keep track of if you're making progress towards your goal, but the more data, the more better opportunity to move. And you know, a level 2 skill is to just see this as data. It's not, oh, I'm a horrible person or I'm a failure just because the scale moved one way or the other. It's, oh, the scale moved up 2 pounds 2 weeks in a row. I'm probably overeating. So I can make a change. So the food measurements by hand. So in my certification, I'm Precision Nutrition certified. They teach us to measure food by hand for most level 1 people. So most people don't have a scale everywhere they go, or they don't pre-cook their meals. So for measuring protein, it should be the size of the palm of your hand, right? So for me, that'd be about a 5-ounce piece of protein. For measuring vegetables, it should be the size of your fist. So for me, it should be about a cup and a half of vegetables. For carbs, it should be a cupped portion, so like this. So about 3/4 of a cup for me. And then for fats, use your thumbs. So 1 thumb of fat would be maybe 16 grams for me, 2 thumbs, double that, 32 grams. So for women, you want to start out by using 1 hand, right? For men, you want to start out by using 2. So at each meal, if you have 3 meals a day, you'll have 2 servings of protein, so 2 palms, right? So if it's about 4 ounces for me, then I'll be eating 8 ounces of protein per meal. Same with fists, 2 fists for men, 1 for women. Carbs, cupped, 2 for men. So let's say this is 3/4 a cup, 3/4 a cup. So I'll have about a cup and a half of carbs per meal. And then for fats, men, 2 thumbs. So I'll be having about 32 grams of fat per meal. And then that's a good baseline if you don't want to calculate your macros, if you don't want to weigh your food, use your hands. So if you want to go past that, you can use portion control plates. You can buy them cheap on Amazon, where it separates your plate into protein, fats, carbs, or you can buy a food scale. And on a food scale, you know exactly how much food you're intaking. So, should you count calories? And we're gonna cover that in the next module. See you in the next module.